Dead Man's Toe. Dead Man's Toe, flesh it out. Toe of dead guy bed. Fritz Anderson. Dead. I'll ask last. Avoid double boarding. Now, do you recall those lively family-friendly Halloween seasons of friends gathering around the little screen watching Pocus? Those were memorable moments when three Sanderson sisters, sharp Winterfred, funny Mary, and kind Sarah sprang from the screen, carrying world of mystery, joy, and wondered, an mere tale of old magic or weird curses. Pocus has become a Halloween icon. Season had a lasting impression, childhood memories of many generations. However, few know that behind those colorful scenes lie an entire hidden world of surprises. Billy Doug Jones Butcherson eating a real moth on screen, the disturbing Sarah detail Jessica Parker's ancestor suspected witch and hang it in the notorious Salem trials. And still more. Props from Salem. The museum has unusual things, causing some film crew personnel to felt they were cursed. Let's discover 20 interesting surprises stories behind this legend film. Point 20. Doug Jones. Bill Butcherson expelled a live butterfly. Stop coming. The Billy Butcherson actor Doug Jones, the stone-mouthed zombie, did anything even the most dedicated actors hesitate to spit out live moths in the finale of the film. No props, no CGI. Those moths, they existed, and how they escaped Doug's mouth will amaze you. And restless. Doug stated that to shoot this scene required a particular outfit, a rubber pouch on his fake teeth. This sack included live ones too. Moths within, yet barred his throat to stop them flying wrong way. Tony, special effects designer Gardner, added, "We made a little pouch hole for Doug exhale. Then an animal expert placed each with tweezers moth into the pouch. Sewn shut and hurried away. Doug had nothing to open his mouth and voila, the moths flew, making amazing shot. Yet one of the weirdest experiences in his life. Feeling like I was," Billy Doug stated, because no one else interviewed would agree. A little sacrifice. Odd, but it commitment that developed one of most memorable Hocus moments. Pocus. Point 19. Original script was incredibly gloomy, not kid-friendly. Before becoming family-friendly, our favorite Halloween film, Hocus Pocus, was originally scarier. McFilm screenwriter Garris had desires to make a horror film where Sanderson sisters haunted audiences with cruelty. First draft, they didn't merely captured, threatened children. Gree said they were slaughtered and eaten. At interview, "I wanted to show the truth, dark magic, but Disney saw the script and immediately Disney requested Garris to totally rewrite it, changing the witch's cute and funny characters. Garris, I was initially dismayed," admitted, "but then I realized without those adjustments, Hocus Pocus would never became our favorite film today." The Billy Butcherson actor Doug Jones recalled reading the screenplay. "Wow, this is real. Horror movie. But the ending version, I saw the perfect blend, the perfect combination of spooky and amusing. Thanks to these adjustments, Hocus Pocus succeeded, a basic limit horror film, to be Halloween, a timeless tale for kids and adults. Adults can enjoy." Point 18. Sarah Jessica Parker has a witchcraft ancestor. Sarah Jessica Parker, Sarah Sanderson, charming but naive witch, first assumed her part was just another acting gig. In 2004, as a who-do participant, you think? She found familial secret that enhanced the role significant than ever. On the show, Parker learned her 10th great-grandfather, Grandma Esther L. Wellicust, of witchcraft in Salem witch trials of 1692. "I couldn't believe my ears." Here calls she was accused of strangling a neighbor with witchcraft. "I had no idea my family was related to Salem." Thankfully, Esther never was tried. Salem witch trials ended just before her conviction. That narrative chilled me. Parker, too, wasn't simply acting, which was related to this history. Changed my perspective on my role. Light. Parker admitted this. Finding altered her opinion of Pocus. That may explain her portraying Sarah Sanderson has distinct appeal. Like Parker was born to play the part. Point 17. Leonardo DiCaprio nearly portrayed Max, but declined because he felt it was unlucky. DiCaprio won an Oscar in 1993. Offer from Disney. They wanted him play Hocus Pocus Max Dennison. This offer was unusual. "I was offered enormous sum," Leo remembered. "When I was a young actor, my largest payout ever offered." DiCaprio changed it. Down. Why? He desired a role in Eating Gilbert Grape. Notwithstanding, he wasn't cast. "Now I recall wondering if I reject Disney and not the Gilbert Grape role, but I cannot disregard my instincts." This decision altered DiCaprio's career, but also enabled Omri Max was played by Katz. "I don't regret it." He called Hocus Pocus a fantastic film, but I made the right choice. DiCaprio got the job afterward. What's eating Gilbert Grape? Earning first Oscar nomination and start route to becoming one of Hollywood's biggest names. But suppose Leo picked Hocus Pocus. Would we have seen him chase witches? That completely changed his path. And fascinating question and a judgment that neither Leo nor audiences never forget. Point 16. Witch burning. Disney cued it out that it's hot. Fun movie Hocus Pocus. But did you watch it? Originally had a haunting heated scene Disney had to deletite. A witch was burned. Intense, gloomy moment. That was filmed at scenario authentically. Producer David Kersner remembered. Fire, smoke, and witches' reactions, everything was vibrant. Problem was, when the scenario test examinations showed young audience reaction, made Disney contemplate. Some youngsters cried. A boy cried. No. Kersner said stop watching. As Winterfred. Betty Midler Sanderson remembered my moment too. Excellent scene. But then I realized why they cut. They sought a decent film. All ages. The scene was never released. You can sense its echoes in the spooky atmosphere. A remembrance of Hocus Pocus nearly changed the tale. Darker and scary, but maybe not Asherish now. Point 15. Sarah Jessica Parker liked flying. On a broom. Music. Sarah Jessica Parker as Sarah. The role of Sanderson went beyond acting that seemed strangely soothing. Many actors objected about harness suspension toe film soaring scenes. Parker definitely liked it so much during breaks she stayed between takes. Suspended instead of coming down was most comfortable place for me, Parker said. Interview. I sat on my broomstick, bring the New York edition Times, and read amid the crowd setting up the cameras was like armchair in the air. Film crew immediately doubted their eyes. Production assistant said. All assumed she'd want to rest. Instead, she read up there. She read her newspaper calmly. Even joked that without the she'd likely bring a cup of Parker admits to coffee up there. That broomstick flying gave her AI no freedom and comfort. Strange, but I liked it. Maybe I was a flyer before. Actual witch. Sarah Jessica Parker. Making things fascinating even when she's suspended. Music. Curse Salem Museum props. If you thought Hocus Pocus had an unsettling atmosphere, it may not just acting or lighting. That mystique originated from the movie props, some of which were taken from Salem's history. Thus, the scene's agony scene was removed. Jason Marsden, who voiced Binks. I know why they had to cut it, but I was also sad. A beautiful, emotional moment. Scene. It revealed Binks' potential. Given up. Although it didn't make the final edit, scene's spirit lingers in their Binks tale, sorrowful character mortality. 12. Two performers portrayed Binks. In case you thought their Binks was a don't believe simplistic character. Binks emerged from a cooperation between two actors. Sean Murray portrayed the human version of Binks and Jason Marsden, who contributed the cat and human voices. Binks variations. Initially, I thought use my voice, Sean Murray shared. After studying the footage, they said my voice sounded overly modern. They wanted Binks a classic tone like the 17th century set. Who? Jason Marsden worked on voice. I had to balance historical. Binks was genuine and emotional, was more than a cat. He was entrapped soul, and I wanted the audience to feel that. This partnership produced the perfect Binks, a character who's sad and cute. I always thought Binks was the heart. From the film. Marsden stated he links the past and present, signifying love and sacrifice. Whether human or kid, their Binks' character that moves audiences. Tribute to the great McZinn acting and voice. Point 11. Omri Katz. Max was high at scene. Playing Max, Omri Katz Dennison acknowledged that one of his main Hocus Pocus scenes were filmed. When high. I was 16 when time. I had just begun trying marijuana, Katz sighed in an interview. I doubted it would influence my work until I stepped onto the stage. This scene Max's first Sanderson meeting sisters. It was hard to concentrate. Kitties revealed, I kept forgetting lines, and everything was off. Director Kenny Ortega looked around fast. Are you high? Elide, but he knew. Ortega dragged him, but didn't yell. Pulled him aside. If not, serious, you'll drag the whole thing crew down. Katz said that was a wake-up call. I needed to grow be more professional despite the mishap. Katz recalls conclude with a smile. Max Dennison is still popular, favorite Hocus Pocus characters. Point 10. Better Midler designed Winifred in costume. When you imagine Sanderson's sisters, Winifred's bright red hair features and bright clothing are tough to forget. Few know Winifred's unusual style wasn't perfect costumer made be. Midler she shaped it. Film costume designer Mary Vogue remembered. Initially, we planned Winifred to wear black, dress like most witches, but talk to Bet, she said. No, I need to avoid dark, anything more stunning. Beau drew a quirky, colorful picture, dressed fairy tale-like and a little odd. I wanted it tension-ting and fun, like Winifred's character. Vol recounted. Director Kenny Ortega recalled when Bet decided. She said, this film star. Wyford can't she fit in pure truth. Her clothing made her distinct character. The result, while she couldn't recollect the details Parker's tale was exceptional charm to Sarah Sanderson. A charming, innocent witch whose involvement was unforgettable. Hocus Pocus debuted in summer. Halloween's symbol Hocus Pocus, but when it debuted July 16, the 1993 audience was bewildered. Why was which film released midway of summer? The film's David Kirshner producer told an interviewer, Disney felt July was ideal. Kids were off school. They thought it would help the film increase viewership, but reality did not meet expectations. For its strange release timing, Hocus Pocus made $8 million in its inaugural weekend. A production budget of $28 million, leaving Disney let down. Even worse, critics at time harmed the film. Even Entertainment Weekly rated it A. Adults will find silly mess disrespecting their intelligence. 4. Some sequences were shot in Salem, Massachusetts. Although majority of Hocus Pocus was shot on sound stages in Burbank, director Kenny Ortega intended the picture tour present Salem's history, the notorious witch trials site. Thus, several crucial daytime sequences were shot in Salem and Marblehead. May. Salem was the story's center. Producer David Kirshner commented nothing else could match its real feeling. Notable film locations include Salem's Town Hall, where boisterous Halloween celebration, and Ocean Avenue where Max and Danny lived. Even Phillips Elementary, where the kiln trapped witches. Genuine location. But not all scenes were simple. The cemetery scenes were notable challenging, a crew member said. We have to remove east-facing birch trees, transport them to California setting to replicate surroundings. It was blending real and crafted actual places with care-built sets. Hocus Pocus made real and authentic world magical. Anyone who's visited Salem, walking around town seems like entering the movie. 3. Hocus historical errors. Pocus, that we all know Hocus Pocus doesn't aim at historical accuracy, but when see the film as an adult, several major mistakes may make you laugh or cry an eyebrow. First, Salem witch trials where Sanderson sisters were executed ended in May 1692. In the film, their home, October 31st, 1693, more than a year after trials officially ended. Despite that the film is directly inspired by Salem's past. Another major mistake when Wyford Sanderson her line references margarine. Hold on. You would think margarine invention occurred in the 1800s. The detail is minor, yet important that historians would notice. And the funniest error. The film takes place on Halloween 1993, day when the film shows youngsters attending school. But in actuality, it was Sunday Halloween that year no school would have met. Despite errors, they don't introduce Hocus Pocus appeal. Their presence makes the film much better, more charming. A modern fairy tale needs stick to facts as long as it's magical enough enthrall audiences. 2. The Book of Spells was reported to curse a famous Hocus prop. Pocus is the magical spell book with moving eyes and pages of secrets. Did you know the book supposed to be cursed after the film finished up the book in Disney's prop warehouse mysteriously vanished? No one knew where it went. A Disney employee remembered, we searched everywhere warehouse seemed to evaporate the book vanished. Until nearly a decade later, a staff member found it in forgotten storage compartment, just sitting covered in dust, the workers said. The odd thing was no one could explain its arrival. Some crew members joked the book might have escaped alone, that it's more than a prop, David. We put so much detail and magic into making it. Who knows? It has some magic.it. Whether a humorous tale or anything more, Book of Spells still represents Hocus Pocus and the vanishing mystery adds though the film's magic.it revived thanks to TV and DVDs. Hocus Pocus started poorly. Summer release, panned by reviewers and disappointing box office earnings. The picture nearly disappeared out of sight. Then something spectacular happened. Disney Cable Channel's channel and ABC Family broadcasting it annually on Halloween. Super Hocus reached its audience slowly. People began realize this wasn't merely a movie. David Kersner called it part Halloween itself. Release of the early 2000s DVD reignited the film. More each year people started watching Hocus Pocus Halloween Ritual. I suppose what makes nostalgia makes the film special. Fun, scary, and fun, Midler stated. Ideal for all ages. Today, Hocus Pocus not just a film, a cultural thing. Icon. From a commercial flop, it became favorite classic proven real magic is real, not on television. Hearts of those who value film. Thanks for watching. Remember to support via like, share, and subscription channel. See you next video.